Accent Core, episode 0.91. It is Monday, September the 21st. We're coming at you with those atomic busters.
Yep. My name's Kevin.
Also known as Raylith. My name's Drew.
Yay! So, we had another week full of stuff. Full of hilarious adventures, misadventures, shenanigans. Not shenanigans.
And maybe we even learned a little about ourselves.
Yeah, just a little bit. I watched Bill and Ted, both the Bill and Ted movies.
Have you seen them before?
No.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I never saw them as a child, so this was new.
I didn't see them as a child either, but I've still seen them.
Yeah, I never saw them. That was one that skipped my radar.
You just missed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched them recently.
Huh. How'd you like them?
So the first Bill and Ted, I enjoyed. I thought it was okay. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it held up mostly well. It was cute and charming in some places. I think most of it holds up. There was, and I think maybe this is me being a little bit too PC. But they did use the old F word gay slur in there a few times. And I'm like, oh. But then again, it was the 80s, 90s.
90s, yeah.
Which was the style at the time. But I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the thing that dated that movie the most. Everything else, I think, held up.
And it's weird, too, because they'll stop and be oddly introspective about other topics.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's a lot of... It's... Other than... That's, to me, and that's what made that... Like, in both moments, I was like, wow. Because the rest of the movie, I'd say both movies, have that issue, but honestly held up relatively well. Where it's like, oh, it's wholesome in a way, but it's just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, this is fine.
You definitely get the sense from those characters, if someone stopped and explained to them why they shouldn't be using that word, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're right, dude. Our bad.
Like, wow, I learned something, Ted. That's not a cool word to say. And you'd be like it's, yeah. But other than that, like, the first one held up pretty well. I really liked the second one.
I think I like it better too, which I think is not the common consensus.
I can see how the common consensus would be that people would think the second one gets too weird, which is why I adore it.
Yeah, but I really like Death in that movie.
Oh, Death is great. I like it where they go to hell, where they're just dead for most of the movie.
Yeah.
And then they go to... It's just... I'm like, this movie is crazy. And then the aliens show up, and I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Oh, it's so good.
It's... Because I watched him with my dad, and he had the apt comparison where it felt like a good episode of South Park where you start the premise and then it goes off the rails. But unlike South Park, it held up. Like, conceptually. Yeah. But it's...
Were you guys... his first time watching them too?
Yeah. Yeah, like...
So, are you two prepping for the third one then?
Yeah, because I think we started, I think it was a couple months ago, we watched a couple Keanu Reeves movies, and then it was like, I think
such classics as The Lake House, and what's the other one where he's in a lake house sending letters?
Oh Lord, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Or is that one The Lake House? And then what's the one with Jack Nicholson where he has a heart attack?
I don't remember.
There's two different Keanu Reeves movies that are about lake houses.
I think it's because we saw there's like some Keanu Reeves direct to DVD movie where he plays as like a Russian drug diamond smuggler,
Yeah.
and then we talked about Keanu Reeves, and then I hadn't seen Speed, so I watched Speed,
I've caught parts of Speed and I like it, and I need to watch all of it. And I like the episode of Bob's Burgers where he's building the bus from Speed.
yes, Speed is great. It is dumb, and it is I like it, but
Yeah.
it's 90s action movie dumb, and I adore 90s action movie. But yeah, it was just I was trying to get my it was spurred on by they made Bill and Ted 3 at some point. We were gonna
Yeah.
watch that when it's not like $15.
Yeah.
When
And
it
even if I consider it being $15 versus two people going to the movies to see it, that would still be
oh it's
like winning.
it's roughly similar. It's just there's other movies. Like I think my I
Yeah.
will buy or rent the movie. It's like $5.
Yeah.
That's in my head what the old Blockbuster rate was. So I'm like,
Yeah, that same here, even though I know that's not true anymore.
no, but that in my brain it was like, yeah, $5 a movie. That's about right.
Man, I feel stupid for not renting movies from Blockbuster and then just DVD ripping them.
I feel a lot of stupid things from
Granted,
Blockbuster.
I could still do that with the library, I suppose.
Yeah, I think at some point it's just sort of like I don't feel like stealing it. I was not the kid who was the genius that just copied every Dreamcast game. You went to because there's no copy protection, so you'd go to Blockbuster, like rent a Dreamcast game, burn it, and congratulations, you now have Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Yeah.
It's on you're that genius because there. So back in the day, kids with the Dreamcast, there was no copy
The
protection.
GD-ROM.
Yeah, there's no copy protection on that thing. You just copy it.
There wasn't.
There was like none.
You just burn it to a disc, and that's it, and it just works.
It just worked. It was you didn't have to mod anything. It was like, nah, if you copy a CD, you could copy a Dreamcast.
I'm like especially upset at that because my copy of MVC2 was just destroyed as a child. And had I known,
Oh, you could have just made a backup.
You could just make a new one.
You could have had like one of those entire, and you probably should have, those CD like racks or whatever, just full of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's been the most monumentous not watching video game conference thing I've done was Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they hold up, except that one part, the one word. But that doesn't ruin the movie. It just took me out of the movie for like I'm like, huh. It also took me out of it showed how much I don't know.
Times have changed.
I guess I would say times have changed, but how much more empathetic I am to things like that.
Yeah. Because also, those characters 100% would like still be dropping the F word. It just wouldn't be in the movie.
Yes. Well, it was that time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like if you went to the high school lunch table, we were dropping it. I mean, I was.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm like it's like I'm kind of ashamed, but not really, because that's high school me who was kind of douchey, and I don't like that person. But that was also me. So
Yeah. It's also the humor of the time, such that Carlos Mencia got his own show.
That's true. Carlos Mencia did have society. The systematic societal problems are not on our heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've been up to... Oh, I will say, as a preview, I do intend at some point to watch the Jurassic Park Netflix cartoon, which just showed up. I intend to watch it because I need to know.
Camp
It's
Chrysozoic
like,
or
yeah,
whatever.
I want to say Camp Creation because one of the vacation Bible schools I went to as a wee child was called Camp Creation.
I don't think that's the Jurassic Park
I do
camp.
not think it is, but I remember that we had to learn a song and we sang it, and that's still in my brain.
Sing us the song, Kevin.
Okay, it's like da 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 Camp Creation, fun and adventure, Camp Creation. Grab your backpack, grab your tent. Camp Creation is the real event. And that's all the words I can remember. And then it had like verses about the Bible.
Okay, that is not even a bad Bible camp song.
No, it's not. It was fine. Listen.
Like, oddly catchy.
Yeah, no, that's why it's been in my brain since, I don't know, I was 10, 11. Like, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to in movie watching, media watching, or Bible church reminiscence?
I have been watching Marlin Pie stream Marvel 3, but it's a patched, modded version of Marvel 3 that now has quote-unquote palette swap characters.
Oh,
So you have Orange Hulk,
okay.
you have Shadow Lady,
Yeah.
and they do not play like their counterparts. Orange Hulk has similar stuff to regular Hulk, but he also has a ton of weird stuff to him too.
Oh, I'm glad they're modding. I'm glad they're modding Marvel 3, just giving it
Yeah.
the Rainbow Edition. That's what it sounds like.
So yeah, it kind of is. The most recent character, it's weird. It's kind of the Rainbow Edition, but it's also the characters. They're kind of balanced too. But the most recent edition is Sentinel, the MVC2 one.
Oh, that's great.
So they've just reworked all of Sentinel stuff to just be MVC2 Sentinel.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like it a lot. I think that was one of the cool features. I think it was Ultra Street Fighter 4, where you could just pick your version of the character. So you can have like, here's Vanilla Sagat. Was that in that game?
That was Ultra Street Fighter 4 came with Edition Select.
Yeah.
And I wish that's where Street Fighter 4 tournaments went.
Because I always thought that was cool. I always thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. Because it was.
And it's a nice callback to Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. The closest not Street Fighter thing that Hearthstone back in the day would do that, where they would run like little like temporary challenges where they'd be like, all right, here's the unbanned version or the unnerfed version of these cards. You can use them in this event mode. Like,
Yeah.
good luck. And I was always like, oh, that's cool. That's neat.
But so the coolest character in the modded is She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Because her modded version is Red She-Hulk.
Oh.
And it's like, if you mash taunt 5 times real fast for the cost of 3 meters, she'll go into literal dragon install.
Oh, that's great. That is.
And it starts playing the music, and she gets like all of Saul's moves.
That is excellent. I like everything about that. That means they know what's up.
Yeah.
I like a good dragon install. So much, listen, I'll reblog Penguins of Madagascar or whatever as soon as they start talking about dragon installs. I'm like, there you go. I know that was fake, but I know that was edited, but man, if that wasn't, then that show's genius.
There is, I think it's a British educational cartoon.
I saw that where it It was someone put in like
He was
combo
supposed to have notes.
notations.
Yeah, he was supposed to have notes on his arm or something to show, and they didn't want it to just be gibberish, so he just put his Phoenix Wright MVC3 combo on the guy's arm.
That's good. That's sick. Some child somewhere is going to be playing Marvel vs. Capcom, pick up Phoenix Wright, and just instantly know, and they're like, how are you doing this?
Ooh.
It's in his brain.
And then he'll be more upset of why is it Phoenix Wright and not Virgil?
Well, like you gotta work at it. That's part of the educational. You can't have it handed to you on a plate.
Also, so yeah, it just is confirmed Virgil's never playable in the vanilla version of a game.
Of course, yeah. You do not give people the Virgil up front. You gotta. That's the Cajuns. That's the secret spice. Keeps them coming back.
Like, it's just funny to me that it's even true for Marvel 3.
Oh, of course. You don't get Virgil. Everyone's like, yeah, no. You want Virgil? You gotta pay. You gotta wet Capcom's beak. They know that Virgil is simultaneously the lamest and the coolest, and that's his entire character. Just differently than Dante.
Yeah.
Like, they're both incredibly lame and incredibly cool. And that's why...
Yep.
Just opposite. Virgil's just like, I'm so edgy. And you're like, oh, really cool, Virgil. And then he slashes his sword so fast that it, like, creates a vacuum wave. And you're like, oh, man, that was sick. Whenever you said, I need more power, and then you cut him. And then you do the summon swords, and the summon swords go around you, and then you can, like, do it again, and they go on top of the person, and they shoot down. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, you can give them the crown of swords.
That's so dope.
You can do that in Marvel 3.
I know people just don't. It's not as good.
People don't. Yeah, because it costs 1 bar to put the swords on, and then it costs another bar to either put the crown on them or to put them like arced over him so he can start shooting them.
Yeah.
And it always gets very hype and very exciting when someone does spend the extra bar to do that.
Oh, because you're swagging at that point. It's like, oh.
But then it's like nothing happens. It's just, okay, good job.
Yeah, because it's why don't you just save up for like the level 3 or the level 4? Yeah.
Virgil has a level 4.
Activate and then you level 3. But yeah, we could transition into that. I think Final Fantasy 16. So this is the Sony thing. Final Fantasy 16 looks really cool. I'm on board.
I didn't even finish the trailer. I just thought it was whatever.
I get that. To me, it's kind of, I guess it's because I just finished playing Final Fantasy like 7 Remake, and Final Fantasy has been sci-fi slash steampunk from 7 to 15, with the only exceptions being the 2 MMOs and 9. You could argue 12.
It has not been a like classic traditional fantasy
in a long time. So as a Final Fantasy fan, it's like, oh man, that's a breath of fresh air. We're going back to just traditional Witcher, and it really reminded me of Witcher, at least the kind of dingy kind of tone to it, which I like. I'm a big fan of Jerry the Witcher. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like, and it was apparently all the 14 squads working on it. 14's getting a weirdly, I don't know if it's like it for you. It might not be, but a lot of like people I know or people I watch and like streaming everyone started streaming and talking about Final Fantasy 14.
No, that's not the case for me, because the only streams I watch are you and then regularly scheduled fighting game streams.
Yeah, man, you slumming it watching whatever I'm doing. but yeah, it's just
I mean, someone has to mod those, Kevin.
Yeah, well, someone has to stop the robots and get rich from watching porn.
No, those robots are allowed to post but you're not popular enough to attract them yet. We just get the watch porn robots.
Oh man. I think the only non-porn robot I completely banned from my channel was some guy saying, "Hey, I can make emotes for you," because I felt it as like a personal insult of like, how dare you?
Have you not seen Horfo?
I like it's like hey, I'll make like icons and emotes for you. You know, you can just take. And I was like, how dare you? I drew my beautiful Horfo. You are banned. You're out of here. That's the most peeved I've ever been at someone in my Twitch chat or any comments was they were dared to try to insist that my Horfo picture was bad. I'm like, you get out.
Oh.
I am an accomplished emote creator.
Thank you very much.
I have several channels use my emotes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. 2 of them are on Pat's channel. I drew his cat and his dog. My dad has one because he simulcast his lectures on stream on Twitch. So if you ever want to learn about pathology, you can check out my dad's Twitch streams. If you want to learn about like diseases.
Not about like making like trails through the forest.
No, you want to learn about liver disease, and then sometimes you got to see like some medical photos of diseased organs because you got to identify what that is. Then head on down. I think Rebecca, I made emotes for her of her cat, and Trista, I made an emote because I drew a terrible Pokemon, and then they used it as their emote. So yeah, I'm an accomplished emote creator. My beautiful, beautiful art. That is awful. But that's that. I think that that PlayStation thing also brought up the conversation of the Harry Potter conundrum, where people want to play the Harry Potter video game, but you don't want to give money to J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Which my advice is so for me. The Harry Potter well is soured, so I'm probably not going to play that game. Also, there's other games. There's other great games I still haven't played. Like that one's way low on my list. I have bought games that I haven't played yet. And
same here.
And it's like, why would I play the Harry Potter game when I think it's like $9.99 whatever the PlayStation
99 nights?
Yeah, 99 nights. But whatever, the visual novel like of 9 doors, 9 room, whatever. I have that, a Virtue's Last Reward. I think that's what it's called. But I have that on the table because the Disgaea creator and the guy who did Virtue's Last Reward, they're making they're teamed up. So I gotta learn about the other half of that because I've played all the Danganronpas.
Yeah,
I love those. So I'm in that. I guess my advice to Harry Potter people is if you absolutely have to have it, all you do is you buy the game and then you donate an equal amount to a transgender charity. Just to stiff it to J.K. Rowling.
Yep. Then screen cap it and
tweet her at her.
The donation.
Yeah, say this and put it in there. He said, "This is because I wanted to play the Harry Potter video game."
Yeah.
Choke it down. That's the most equitable way to play that game.
Just like if you want to eat at Chick-fil-A.
Yep. You gotta pay the toll, or not do it because there's too many games. Listen. There's too many.
Too many fast food restaurants.
Yeah. Listen, there's the secret to KFC chicken to the Chick-fil-A chicken is I think it's they use like a pickle brine or something for their chicken. Like that's the key.
What?
Yeah, like if you it's something along the lines of like the chicken is like brined in like pickle juice or vinegar, and then it's breaded and fried, and that kind of gives it that flavor. God, I wish I had it, because it was someone where it was some woman or out there was like, "Hey, I like the Chick-fil-A sandwiches, but I'm not going to eat there. But because I'm a chef, I figured out how to make them. And this is like the key." And I believe the key was, it was like a pickle. It's just, you make a fried chicken sandwich, but you brine it in like pickle juice. And that's 90% of the way there. I may be wrong. I may be completely wrong because I'm not a chef. I think the last thing I had for dinner was I got Kroger, and I got this stuff called Cajun crab spread.
Yeah.
It was good. I put it on rice cakes. Like, it felt like I was cheating, because instead of eating tuna, which is kind of dry unless you put mayonnaise on it, this stuff was just good out the thing. I didn't have to add mayonnaise to it.
Well, if it's a spread, did it already have mayonnaise in it?
Yes, but it probably had some mayonnaise in it, but it wasn't. I didn't have to do food science where with like the dry tuna you have to like. So I do like mayonnaise, and I added a little bit, but you have to add, to me, in my opinion, you have to add a little bit of mayonnaise to like tuna in the pouch, or else it's just too dry. But if you add too much mayonnaise, it becomes disgusting. So you have to do this weird balancing act that's really hard, because if you cross the line, then you've ruined the entire little patch of tuna. So with the Cajun crab spread, it's just good right there. It's already pre-done. You just put it on your rice cake and you're good to go. So yeah, that's my thing. They also showed Call of Duty, which I had zero interest in.
Yeah, but those have been good for the past few releases, haven't they?
Yeah, it's Call of Duty. I feel like it's
well, I guess, I don't know. I don't think you can say that anymore, because I think they have proven Call of Duty is not always just Call of Duty.
That's true.
There's apparently a subtlety to that formula.
Yeah, I also feel like it seems what they're doing is they're releasing the game, and then like a year in, they'll release the standalone Battle Royale mode to it, because that's kind of what happened. So it's like, do you want to play the Battle Royale Call of Duty or the traditional Call of Duty? It's also weird that this one, at least with like the Ronald Reagan War Crimes edition, just really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does so much, when most of the things you do in Call of Duty games are effectively war crimes, but it's just, it's like you got too real with it. Like, if it's when it's nebulous government organizations sending like the Ghost Squad in, because that's what Call of Duty Ghost is, and you're fighting like in a fictional country with fictional villains, and your brain's like, okay, I can accept this. But then when you're trying to make it real, it's like, oh, but that's like people died. Like real people died. I don't know. Well,
I don't know. They've been pulling from actual reality for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it, because they've been doing that since like World War II, and you have like the D-Day missions and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's when your game is trying to be spec ops against, like, we're going undercover with direct orders from the president, and you're just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I guess that's just me being my oversensitive self. Not even oversensitive. I think it's just like normal. Like, it's not numbed to the. I'm like, what the hell is this? It crossed my line. Demon Souls looks cool though, and we already talked about Virgil.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the Nintendo things though?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Monster Hunter for the Switch.
Yeah. I feel like I did see some. I don't. I'm having such a hard time keeping track of time.
Oh, no,
Uh,
don't worry about it.
did did we already talk about the Mario 3 pack?
No, did we? I don't think we did. We'll talk about
Was
it
that
again.
was that this week or last week that it
I
got
think I
announced?
think it came out last week, but I don't think we talked about it. We
Okay.
can talk about it. Who cares? What are your feelings about the limited time Mario?
I don't understand why it's limited time, but also I think I kind of like that it is limited time.
I think I would be okay with it if it was a limited physical release, but you could just download it whenever. I think
Yeah.
that would be fine because I'm fine with limited physical runs, and then it's just all right if you can't buy it, or so the scalpers don't win here. You just go on your Switch and download the 3 Mario games, and they're there
Yeah.
because it's just a ROM they're hosting. They're already hosting crap. Their server is
Yeah.
just and apparently it is just like a ROM.
And I don't get why they didn't touch any of the games up, or at least Mario 64.
Mario 6.
That game is apparently still 4:3 ratio.
Oh, they didn't even widescreen it?
They didn't even widescreen it.
Oh. Because to me, you would have imagined that they would have. I mean, I get on the one hand, you want to preserve it as faithfully as possible. But on the other hand, just make it playable. Like, you can widescreen it. You have it.
Yeah.
It's your own thing. It's like I you have I'm pretty sure the Switch has the render power that you could change the FOV in Mario 64 and not like have it break. Cuz
Yeah.
I've seen those like hacked together mods where they put VR in there and you have like Ocarina of Time and the people are looking around on it. I saw that.
Yeah.
So just make that happen. Oh yeah, Resident Evil, they showed that at the Sony thing.
Village.
Yeah. It's just more kind of CG looking stuff. It looks like it's going to be like first person like Resident Evil 7, which I'm cool with. Resident Evil.
I don't like that. I just feel from now on they're gonna be looking at okay, what words do we have to have a 5 and then 3 straight lines, or okay, now we need an I and then an X.
Yeah. So, well, okay, let's brainstorm it. What's it gonna be for?
Resident Evil 6, but then it'll be the IX will be 9.
Okay, But if that was like, if it was starring Sheva or
Yeah.
no, because that was 5. But it would
Yeah.
or
It'd be Wesker's kid.
oh yeah, if it was Jake. Oh, that'd actually be cool. Like it's Resident Evil 6, and then it crosses out, and then you're like, it's Jake from Wesker, and he's doing that.
Let's see. You also have Fix or Fixer.
Fixer. You have Pixie. Go full fairy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always I am a huge fan of Evil Fairy. I think that's great. I think it's been underutilized. You could have it.
Resident Evil Mix.
Mega Mix. You could have. Okay, what if it doesn't have? Oh, yeah, because you had to have that X in there. Xylophone.
Yep.
There you go.
No, because you need the I.
Okay, so you have or it could be like an L because you can like cut. That's what they did with Village. They cut out like the L, or like J.
Pixel.
Yeah, Pixel. It's
And
Pixels.
it's a remake of the GBA game.
No, it's a remake of the Adam Sandler movie Pixels. And then we get to have more Dunkachinos.
Yeah, instead of a boulder, Chris is punching Pac-Man.
Yeah, and then that man marries Qbert as a woman, and then has baby Qberts.
I forgot Pixels existed.
Oh, I never forget. No, I never forget.
I forgot that movie was a thing.
Oh no, that's the dark Adam Sandler. Or now it's only liked weirdly ironically. Like I don't think people understand that the Dunkachino came from Jack and Jill. And that was the main plot point of Jack and Jill, was that Adam Sandler was on the lucrative Dunkachino ad campaign, and then his sister female Adam Sandler showed up, and hilarious antics ensued.
And then there's Enter the Zohan.
Oh Lord, that's the one that I don't remember. That's the one that as soon as this podcast will stop, I'll forget that Enter the Zohan existed. Because there's a certain level of obnoxiously bad that Jack and Jill was, and that like Pixels are, and like Grown Ups, but Enter the Zohan is.
I think I would argue Enter the Zohan is probably worse than Grown Ups.
Oh, by far. I would if you said pick one to watch, I'm going to pick Grown Ups.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pick Enter the Zohan. That's bad. just not even good. It's not even good. Like, I feel like you can even get an ironic, weird, like, Twitter, YouTube poop out of Enter the Zohan.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably have, like, Kevin Smith, but riding down water slide, but every time he slides, it turns into Dunkachino. Like, that meme can happen. I could see it. Like, I could see that video, but I can't see anything of Enter the Zohan.
Yeah.
Man, that's bad. I'm just thinking about Enter the Zohan. I don't want to see that movie.
I don't want to see that movie either.
Like, I think that's the thing, is like not even ironically want to see it. There's a layer of bad. Like, I feel that's just bad, and there's no redeeming qualities to it.
What's the most recent Adam Sandler movie you have seen or been exposed to for like most of the movie?
Okay, so I'm trying to think. It might be Pixels. I think it's Pixels.
You watched or have seen most of Pixels?
Yeah. Pixels was one because I watched like the Red Letter Media review and they said it was shitty, and I felt like I had to see it just because it was video game related. And I'm like, okay, I didn't make it all the way through it. Like, I'll be real.
Had to watch it because you're a gamer?
Yeah, well, I had to see, because whenever I see something like Pixels, in my brain, it's like, okay, is this how mainstream media sees me? Like, how I've seen episodes of The Big Bang Theory, because that's how mainstream pop culture, when they look at me, that's what they see. So I need to know. Because I'm still angry about that one time when I was at work years ago, and someone compared me to Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and that was the most insulted I have ever felt in like my 20s onward. I think.
No, that is just rude.
Oh, I was pissed. I was like, I made a bluster about being mad at the person trying to advertise to draw my emotes, which is just sort of like the more indignant, like, oh, you get out of here. But I was legitimately mad and almost like insulted that was compared to Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. I was like, what are you doing? Because it hit me. I don't know. It hit me so hard, and it's hard to explain or articulate why that one cut me. When I'm like, ooh, because I've seen The Big Bang, and that led to me watching like several episodes of The Big Bang Theory. which I have seen several episodes of The Big Bang Theory. Just to know. And I'm not like Sheldon. That's not...
No, you're like Leonard.
No. See, okay, so Leonard is lame, but he's trying, so the thing, okay, we're going to talk about The Big Bang Theory.
Can we not?
No, we have to. I have to get this out. I have to, okay, because I've probably said it before, but my grand theorem is that The Big Bang Theory is basically a ripoff of Frasier, but instead of being fancy high society, they're quote unquote nerds and geeks.
Yeah.
Where it's the supposed to it to the point where there are jokes and lines ripped from Frasier in The Big Bang Theory
that are just retooled.
Yeah, I remember it because what's the guy? Howard says run fast, like he says, I think line for line, she's the devil, run fast, run far, which is what Niles said to Frasier about, I think it was either like, I think his agent or whatever, but it was like the exact, it was the exact same words of like, she's the devil, run fast, run far. I'm like, that's the same quote. That's not even like the same ideal.
Yeah.
It did have, I will say, Big Bang Theory has one good joke that I've seen in my limited watching. I think I've talked about it, where it's the card trick where one of them says, like, is this your card? And the other guy always just says yes. And Sheldon couldn't figure it out. I thought that was a funny bit. But the rest of it, it's just not funny. It's a lot of, it's that kind of, I would say the characters in The Big Bang Theory are way more incel than I think the kind of nerd that I am, where they're always obsessed with trying to get a girlfriend and get laid.
Yeah.
They're that kind of nerd where they're always kind of like, man, I just need to get like a G with a woman and then I get a girl GF and then I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah. The really pitiful ones.
Yeah. Which if you want to cycle back in, Sheldon isn't like that. He doesn't care, but he's like effectively autistic, so that's also kind of like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. You could have made a cool Sheldon.
Could have made a Joey Tribbiani Sheldon.
Yeah, that would have been sick. You could have made 21 from the Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
I'd be fine if they said I was like that. I'm like, okay, that's even Hank or Dean, I'd be okay.
Oh, Kevin, you're such a shore leave.
Yeah, there we go. I'm flamboyantly gay and cool. There we go. That's what people say. Actually, that wouldn't be insulting. That would just make me confused.
Yeah.
Because it's like
they meant someone else.
Yeah, like you were thinking of someone else, and it's not.
You're thinking of Dean.
Yeah, you're not even like I'm not insulted by the gay part. It's that like you think I'm like competent and well built. That's the confusing part. It's like I'm not gay. But then that's not a problem. It's just not. No, Shore Leaf's like a competent soldier, man, and I get my arms hurt opening like jars sometimes. Like that's not the same.
Yeah, we look at all of the spread for Shore Leaf, and we look at all of the spread for me, and they're two separate circles.
Yeah,
those circles don't touch.
Yeah, there's nothing here. I can understand the Sheldon comparison because he wore like a Green Lantern shirt once or something. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. I don't wear Green Lantern shirts, but I like Green Lantern. I get the comparison.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, oh man, I'm peeved. Did you ever have to go to any church camps or anything?
Yes, but not that many. I remember we had to watch the vacation Bible schools. Okay, so vacation Bible school camps or like actual sleepaway camps?
Both.
So yes to both.
I have been yes to both as well.
Uh, so do you remember like the squirrel or chipmunk or whatever it was mascot videos for vacation Bible schools?
No, I think it's because I think you were because you're younger than me. You had a different set. I think you.
Maybe, but these videos were not new when I was seeing them.
Okay, because I don't remember like I always remember Vacation Bible School. It was like a packet that basically the church got, and then they ran it, and then they also had like you went to the playground sometimes. It was like a day camp.
Yeah. And then the actual sleepaway camp was at Buffalo Mountain.
I don't remember where it was, but it was.
Yeah.
I think it was out. It was out in the mountains somewhere. Some camp. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a camp.
So and for me, it's just paved with like horrible happenstances for the whole time.
Do tell.
We were playing. So the one that lingers with me most. I shouldn't start with Showstopper. I shouldn't start with
no. Yeah. You got to build up. You got to build up with our Bible. So for those in the know, in old Appalachia, which is how it's pronounced. If you say Appalachia, you're not from around here. It's Appalachia.
Yeah.
There's instead of traditional summer camps, you basically have two options, which are Boy Scout / Girl Scout camp or church camp for summer camps. I don't even know if summer camps still exist anymore. I guess they do.
Not in these times.
Well, I mean, obviously not last summer, but
I can confirm. Yeah, the church camp still exists.
Okay.
Cause the one I went to, whenever those severe rains happened, like 5 years ago or something, it destroyed that camp.
Oh wow.
And so they built a new one closer to Bays Mountain.
Okay, so so basically church camp. So imagine like if you're, I'm just trying to paint the picture. Imagine your typical
regular camp,
but church.
But then you're singing hymns.
Yeah, there's like a church filter on summer camp.
Yeah, you're saying a prayer before you eat meals.
Yeah,
your church campfire songs or hymns.
Yeah, there's like God, what am I trying to say? Like you probably have like a Bible study every day or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it just turns into regular camp for like it's regular camp 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time it turns church.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So the mishaps.
Yeah.
The most minor one I remember is we were doing a night hike down the mountain, like following all the trails, it's not no off trail stuff. Mm-hmm. But I remember being closer to the front and Cody was closer to the back, and they said like, oh geez, something happened, and like apparently Cody had like slipped on a rock going across one of the like streams.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was fine when I got back there. I think he had fallen. But, by the time we got to the front of the line, it was telephoned, gossiped into whatever else.
He's dead now.
Yeah. There was, like, a super spicy pepper, I remember, that was at one of our meals that was sufferable to everyone. The bigger ones, though, are... One of the, like, my friends who was also there washed his water bottle out, and I don't think he rinsed all the soap out before I asked for a drink of water.
Oh, no!
And so, like, I remember, like, tasting funny or weird, and, like, nothing happened then, but, like, that night I got up in, like, middle of the night, and we're sleeping in these giant teepees.
Yeah, oh,
and,
okay.
Like, I am nauseous and like I'm fighting my way out of the sleeping bag, and I'm like, oh, good thing I got out. I'm gonna make it to the opening to throw up, and oh yeah, there's just a giant hole in the like center of these teepees that I just like tripped in and just threw up all over his sleeping bag.
Yeah, oh, man. Oh, I can
That
see
was
it.
that was great. And then I made my way out and kept throwing up some more.
Oh.
But the best.
Okay, I need
So
to
it
know.
was a mixed camp. It was a mixed camp. It was boys and girls.
Yeah, no, that a lot of the ones that I went to, it was kind of like every camp was segmented, so it's sort of
Yeah.
like whatever your unit was, you'd be kind of doing. It's like one year I was archaeology, one year it was like hiking, one year it was like
Yeah.
canoeing or whatever, and that's kind of. But you'd always like coalesce around the thing.
Yeah. So this was actually like boys and girls were in like the same troop or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And then just at night when we got to our campsite, the girls went to the girl teepee and the guys went to the guy teepee.
yeah, that's how a
But
lot of them went. At least
yeah.
when I was there. Or
But yeah, so we're playing soccer one day, and someone like does a goalie catches it and kicks the ball, and our camp counselor, she like, you know, blocks it and like drops it to the ground and like keeps going.
yeah,
And later, same repeat, but it's another guy who's at the camp with us too, like one of the not the guy counselor, but one of like the guy campers.
yeah.
And he goes to imitate exactly what she did. You know, it's a big kick coming down, and you know she just blocked it with her groin.
Oh no!
And so he went to do the same thing. And he just crumpled. He just crumpled.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was hilarious.
Because I can see the kid just getting drilled in the dick with a soccer ball and just immediately crumple. Like, oh no. Nothing I have is that good. Nothing I have is that beautiful. Most of the events, nothing I have can compare with childhood groin destruction. All of my. I remember church camp feeling weirdly isolated, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like because I would go with and I would I always went with the friends I had or the people I had from the church, and you'd
Yeah,
go
so
with
not your real friends, just your weekly church friends.
yeah, which is like a tier. It's like your tier lower than friend, above acquaintance but below friend. You know, that kind of tier.
Yeah, it's just because you've spent so much time with them.
Yeah, where you're like, yeah, okay. You're you're in the squad where you're like out of necessity. It's I would say church friends are above school friend, not like actual friend, but you're like, okay, this guy's in my class and I'll talk to him.
Classmates, yeah.
But you're just like, okay. But those were like the only because everyone else was just kind of like it was weirdly cliquey, but not there was no like picking on or anything. At least I didn't experience any bullying or whatever. But just like everyone's like, no, I'm not going to talk to those people.
Yeah.
And that's my story. I remember feeling like weirdly isolated, but also because I'm just kind of an introverted nerd. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want to talk to him anyway.
Exactly. It's
So
like,
just-
I don't want to meet new people. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I've been sent here because my parents want to get me out of the house. They're like, that's all
Yep.
I'm here for. And I'm just trying not to do as much as possible. And if I could, I would just like there's a camp where it was just here's a room with Smash Brothers. And a
That's what I'd
TV.
be.
Oh, I'd take that camp. That'd be a sick camp. Like, here's Smash 64. We put you in this room, and we just kind of it's you got some bathrooms over there.
Every so often it goes to commercial break and play some Jesus at you.
Yeah, like you have to turn it off. But then after you go to the Jesus thing, we switch out the game. So instead you now
No,
have
it's Mario
GoldenEye.
64.
No, I would say like GoldenEye. Here's GoldenEye. You have GoldenEye multiplayer, and then you'll get Smash next time, and you're like, okay. I'm saying that would have been a great summer camp. I'd have been on board.
Yep.
Did you ever have to do the 30-hour famine?
No.
You ever did that one?
30-hour famine or fast?
Well, I don't remember. I just called it the 30-hour famine. I think it's supposed to be like a fast. But it's just where you were basically in a church lock-in for quote unquote 30 hours to understand what it's like to not eat food.
No, I never had to do that.
Yeah, we did that. I did that 2 years. First year is kind of rough, but second year they did allow, for some reason, they allowed us to bring a TV and a Nintendo 64. So it wasn't that bad because they would also, so they didn't want you to actually pass, so you could still drink water, and they had juice like Gatorade that you would have every so often, just so people wouldn't you wouldn't have kids passing out. So you'd have like you'd get like, effectively it wasn't like that much, but you'd get like a fruit smoothie it wasn't like a true like famine or fast or whatever, but it's like, here's some juice with like some stuff just so you're not gonna pass out on us, and then we have to deal with it.
Keep your iron levels up.
Yeah. So you're going to be like really craving food, but you're not going to die or
You're gonna be hungry.
You're going to deal with hunger, but you're not going to deal with like, well, now the kids are just passing out because no blood sugar because they haven't eaten. It's like, oh. But anyway.
I can't believe they let you bring an N64.
I can't either, because that one was way easier. I remember it was not even a problem. Like,
it's like, I'm just so distracted by this. It's like, oh, Kevin, you need to drink some juice. Like, yeah, sure.
No, because it was me and my church friends, and I think we had Smash or something, and we just played that for like there we go.
Because the other way, it'd be so boring the whole time.
Oh, it was bad. It was like regular church lock-ins, which I'm sure you've done the lock-ins.
Yeah.
It was one of the Tumblr posts that I most remember because I'm most related to, because it described the church basement. And it was like the universal church basement. It was like everything down there, and I was like, I could smell it. It was like, I can smell what's down there, like folding chairs, like props from a Christmas play 3 years ago.
And like CRT.
Yeah, the CRT on the thing.
On the media stand, yeah.
Yeah, on the media stand, like three, like it was like you'd go to the kitchen and there would be sometimes snacks, but they'd be kind of a little too stale, but you ate them anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I can't adequately express how much it was like, oh man. I remember a lot of I guess I didn't realize this, and I'm only realizing it now. But church lock-ins stopped once all the kids started hitting puberty age.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, and I at first I was like, I remember we did a lot of church lock-ins until around like 5th or 6th grade, and then they all stopped. And my brain's like, why did that happen? And then I'm like, oh. Because you can have like a bunch of like elementary school kids with a supervisor, and you're not going to get to really anything bad happening. Especially because it's at a church. It's like the church squad, so you're not going to have like the horrors. There was no horrors.
Slightly older than that, and you have to start being like, well, where's little Becky and little Timmy?
Yeah, exactly. but they all just kind of that just kind of phased out because at least with our church, at least how it was, whereas there was just like a group of us that were all kind of the same age, and then there was not a cycling in of new kids.
No, that was same for my church, and I think that's true for a lot of churches.
Where they'll have like an influx of like, all right, now we have like 10 kids, but we're not getting like new kids. It's just here's the squad for like these 10 years.
Yeah.
And I remember,
and if they're lucky, they get new ones, but they normally don't.
You'll if you get new ones, it's a sibling of the squad. So I remember there was like the squad, and then there was like my younger sister and a couple other like young. There was like 3 younger siblings that were also kind of there. But I remember that all stopped at puberty age, and I didn't realize until now. I'm like, oh, that's why it stopped.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we're gonna stop.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna stop. So, anyways, if you have any of your fun church themed vacation crap, leave it in the comments. I'm just realizing that apparently for most of my summers, I was doing some kind of church camp at some point.
Yeah, I only had to ever go once.
Oh, I did. It was like every year. It was like every year, which is really bizarre because I think it was purely similar to the Malcolm in the Middle episode where my parents basically went to church as an excuse to give my sister and I
you in the summer.
Yeah, I really feel like it because once my sister and I got to like high school, kind of college age, like my mom and dad just stopped going to church like completely.
Yeah.
Like they were like, nope, kid, the free daycare isn't there. I'm not paying the my tithe is over. That was the perk. The purpose was church was a daycare that's also vaguely moral. So it was kind of like you're going to it's like a daycare and it's not going to be it's like, okay, here's church. It's not going to be terrible there.
Yeah.
Anyways, unlike this podcast, later days.
Later days.